Hi guys, me again. All this week we are talking about my new blog post that I put out earlier this week. How foods actually affect our mental or emotional stress, and how they can really relate to, um, you know, having nutrient deficiencies in our body can really make or break that ability to react and absorb and really respond to stressful situations a lot differently. So if you're finding that you are very much reactive, so really just like boom, something happens and you're just like at a 12 plus on the Richter scale with regards to your emotions, you're panicking, you're upset, you're freaking out, you're a mess, then that might be an indication to you that you're not really handling stressful situations very well. Or to the other extreme, something happens and you dive into the covers. You have dove in right into bed, pulled the covers over your head. You don't want to talk to anybody, you don't want to deal with anybody, you just want to shut out the world. This is another indication that perhaps you're not being able to deal with stress all that well. And it could come down to the types of foods that you're eating. If you have a very junky kind of um, and looking towards the SAD diet, so the standard American diet, where you have a lot of fried foods and very little nutrient dense leafy greens and fruits and vegetables and all these different things. If this is what your diet is, this is not going to help to promote your mental health or and your reaction to stressful situations. My puppy just walked in. But the thing is, there is a way that you can really help yourself. This is the ability. I mean, we have a lot of things going on in the world right now, in our lives right now, that we have no control over. This is what society has done right now, and has put us in a position that we literally have no control. But there are still some things that we will always have control over, and that control is our bodies. We have the last right and we have the last say in what happens and how our bodies are treated. So you have the ability to take that control and really implement some really wonderful things into your life, including proper foods. So speaking of control, the thing is with control, sometimes our ego or our mindset or our thought patterns or that groove that we've just gotten into over the last 10, 15 years, really a habit, our crutch, that place that we go to takes over. So even though we have the mentality and the desire to eat healthy, sometimes our emotions or that rut or that habitual road that we go down is stronger than our choice of good foods. And this is what I'm talking about when I'm looking towards emotional eating. So today I wanted to just talk to you a little bit about some facts from about emotional eating and how it can really play a part on your life, and how it can really uh, be a detriment to your health in the long run. Even though we have a tendency to use emotional eating and stressful eating as a way to cope, there are other ways to be able to cope. And the best scenario is that if you are emotional eating or stress eating, if you're going to be eating leafy greens, then you got it covered. You're going to be good. But that's not usually what we tend to go towards. We go towards more of like a glass of wine, bread, Oreos, ice cream, all the things that singularly wouldn't be a bit of an issue, but because we're the attention behind the way that we're eating and perhaps the amount that we're eating, because emotional eating goes very, very much in hand with binge eating. Um, it is going to be a detriment. It is not serving you at all. And it's, like I said, it's not something that I want to label as bad, but the thing is, you want to really, and you deserve the types of foods that will lighten you up, that will lift your mood, that will encourage positivity all around and allow for the negativity, whatever kind of negativity that might be, to be released out of your body. So negative toxins, physical toxins and toxicity in your body, emotional toxicity, all these things that are weighing us down literally and figuratively. And when we know better, we do better. Sorry. And sometimes it just takes a little bit of a push forward. So this is what I'm trying to offer you today. So like I said, this kind of goes hand in hand with my blog post, Emotional Eating, because it's going to give you an idea about how emotional eating affects, or how certain foods affect our emotions. And you can, reverse that as well. So when you're looking at a box of Oreos, as good as they are, emotionally we look towards that because we think we deserve something good, or we deserved love, or whatever the scenario may be, and we look towards that with regards to how that's affecting our long-term mental stability or mental health. Because even though we're looking for love perhaps in a box of Oreos, we're definitely not going to get it. In fact, it's going to make us feel worse. So that's one of the scenarios that's going to, how food is affecting our emotions, as well as the nutrient makeup of certain foods, or lack thereof. So as I talked in an earlier recording this week, nutrient deficiencies can be very much a part and play hand in hand with your desire to go towards sweet foods, or your cravings, or the foods that you're taking in not having the nutrients enough to give you that boost of energy. So I talked about the other day about something, one example of folate being very tightly with depression, because if we're lacking folate, or the synthetic version, folic acid, we are lacking the ability to stimulate the neurotransmitter BH4, I think it is. Sorry, you'll have to go back to the other video. My brain is just like this short of memory. And which helps with the production of serotonin and dopamine, which are those happy drugs, are those happy hormones in our body that we need. And, if you can take it that step further, because these hormones, or these neurotransmitters, are produced in the gut, for essentially happy gut equals happy life. So you really want to, see that connection and understand that the foods that we eat have, the nutrients that we need to produce the hormones for happiness in our life, as well as, the connection that I'm going to talk to you about right now with regards to emotional eating. So emotional eating is responding to feelings such as stress by eating high carb, high calorie foods and low nutritional value. So again, how stressed are you? I'm going to leave a link in the bottom of this comment so you can use this as it's a checklist to find out exactly how stressed you are. And, because we all know we're stressed, but is it a good stress, or is it a bad stress? Are you in a spot where you're okay? Or is there, really time to really revamp and look at what nutrients you need in your body through a nutritional consult, or really incorporating a lot of the better foods that are suggested within the blog. So the quality of food that you consume is primary difference between emotional eating and binge eating. So you're going to be emotionally eating, when you take in 4 or 5 Oreos or 3 glasses of wine maybe. But then when you end up binging, you're eating like a whole box mindlessly without even thinking about a whole box of Oreos, and maybe drinking a whole bottle of wine. So like most emotional symptoms, emotional eating is thought to result from a number of factors rather than one single case. So, I mean, you are you, I am me, she is her, he is him. We are all different. Energetically, um, biochemically, everything about us is different. Our DNA is essentially the same, but we are different creatures. There's theories out there with regards to, you know, the way that we process through our gut makes us different. But at the same time, you understand that the factors are going to be different with regards to emotional eating and the symptoms and how you react to them and how you act to them and everything else. So there's a number of potential warning signs for emotional eaters or stress eaters. Healthcare professionals assess emotional eating by screening for physical and mental issues. So understanding that, there is a screening process, and this is an issue. It's not something that is just off the cuff, fad terms or whatever. It is an actual issue. That's something that can become quite detrimental, and something that is can really affect your health in the long run, your mental and physical. So overcoming emotional eating involves teaching the individual ways to view food and develop better eating habits, such as mindful eating, recognizing their triggers and engaging in behavior, and develop other appropriate ways to prevent and alleviate stress. This, in a nutshell, is what Broken to Breathtaking is mostly about. When I talk about the membership that I have, which is, amazing, it is something that takes people from feeling lacking, out of control, tired, frustrated, angry, not knowing where to turn next, and giving them the tools that they need through proper diet, motivation for joyful movement, and a lot of mindfulness, self-love, looking at emotional eating, what it is, behavior triggers, how to alleviate stress, all these different things that I just talked about within the program itself. And it's an amazing, amazing way at a really, really low cost to be able to do it for a long term, because Broken to Breathtaking is one of those things that, and understanding that health is not a 6-week, 12-week, 3-month program. It's not something that you can go on an eating diet and expect to change your world. There's so many different factors because, like I said, everybody's individual. There's going to be a lot of different individual factors involved in something like changing your health for the better for a lifetime. There's a way of being able to, through this program, to really make a big sustainable difference in your life. And because it's such a low cost, it's like $29.99 a month, it is the opportunity for so many people to get to where they want to go. So that's just something to really hang on to for, So more about emotional eating. So when emotional eating goes untreated, it can actually cause obesity, problems with weight loss. So really the inability to lose weight. So this is where a lot, again, the people in my group have found themselves very stuck because they aren't dealing with that emotional relationship with food that we all have a tendency to have, and that inability to recognize it and let it go. And then, we also discuss things like food addiction as well. So this is a pretty intense group, like no other, membership like no other, that gives you so many opportunities to access me, to access, the resources that I give you on an ongoing basis, and to really make a difference in your life. So back to emotional eating. So reducing stress, using food as sustenance rather than a way to solve problems. I'll say that again, using food as sustenance or nutritionally dense food intake for to make the car go. It's your fuel to make that body go and work properly. To use food that way as opposed to using it as a way to solve problems that perhaps you might not be willing to address. There's a big point there. If you're not willing to address them, using it can really be very quite detrimental. And this is the way to taking those baby steps towards where you want to be. So learning how to reduce stress in whatever way that works best for you, through supplementation or sitting in mindfulness, in meditation, praying, going for a walk in nature, putting your phone down, not watching the news. There's so many different ways that you can alleviate stress, and it doesn't have to mean that you just have to sit in lotus for 20 minutes twice a day. There are many, many ways. Laughing is one of the most amazing ways to relieve stress. These are all things that we talk about on an ongoing basis within the group. So I hope that gives you a bit of an overview of the blog. Go check it out. Go check it out and see what resonates with you, and come back to me and let me know, because I am interested to know what really works best for you, what you find that doesn't work for you, what foods you're going to incorporate into your life to get past a little bit of stress that might be going on. Check out the checklist see how stressed you actually are. And if you really, really want to dive in and really commit to some big, big changes in your life, this is when the Broken to Breathtaking Women's group is for you. It is, like I said, it's a group like no other. We are body positive. We are health positive. We are emotionally positive. We are woman positive, with lots of support, lots of energy, lots of beauty, lots of love, lots of everything that's good in our lives, and lots of everything that's good for us. So definitely you can check that out as well. So I'll cut it short there, because I have a tendency to make these videos way too long. So check everything out. I'll leave all the links in the comments, and connect with me, because I'm waiting. I know you want to. Okay, talk soon.